My name is Chris Ferner. Everybody calls me Fern. I'm a GIS analyst and forester for the Colorado State Forest Service. GIS means Geographic Information Systems, and it's using a computer system to do mapping and to create maps and to collect data.
Tree 2 is 19.1.
One of the issues that the state has had to deal with in terms of forest management is the pine beetle epidemic. And we have a mountain pine beetle that has moved through the state and killed several millions of acres. The issue there is that it kills the trees and they're left standing. Now that the trees are becoming weaker, they run the risk of falling, and they're kind of classified as hazard trees, potential for a higher wildfire risk. This is an example of data that was collected in regard to the mountain pine beetle, and it really shows the end user areas that the pine beetle had affected, the different colors being the areas that were affected each year. It's a great example of how that data can be used and is useful to the end user. The Colorado State Forest Service is a state-based forestry agency scattered throughout the state, and I'm currently based out of the Steamboat Springs office. And we primarily work with private landowners to help them manage their forested properties. Is there any damage on tree 1? We help them determine whether or not they need to do tree plantings or thinnings, how to maintain a healthy forest, identify sick trees. We also help subdivisions and other landowners with fuel breaks. Sometimes we'll help with prescribed burning on state-owned lands. We're out here today doing a forest inventory, identifying the trees and being able to better manage the property. So we create a plot center, measure the trees that fall within that particular plot, and identify their diameter, their height, their health, and what kind of species they are. For the foresters to use GIS is much more powerful than what they were doing in the past with paper and pen and markers, because they're able to actually look at something and have a spatial representation of the work that they're doing and of the area that they're treating and working with. And then they're able to take that to the landowners and say, look, this is your property. We've highlighted the areas that are in need of some kind of attention. Some of the equipment we use for this is a handheld GPS-enabled data collector. And we have a piece of software that is downloaded onto that brings the map and the plot locations that we're visiting or that we plan to visit throughout the course of the day. When we collect all of this data, we take it back into the office and we use a software program that helps us analyze overall the picture of health of this particular stand of trees. And we look at that, and it tells us basically how many board feet are within the stand, what kind of regeneration we might see over the span of 10 or 20 years. And that helps us better plan a management strategy for this particular area.
We've treated up there, and then we've got a lot of treatment areas in here.
One of the most critical skills to have in order to be able to be a good GIS specialist is to be analytical and to be able to have critical thinking. It's incredibly powerful to be able to take this data and ask questions and get answers from it. We're able to query the data, pull up extra things that they want to know. How many acres have been treated in certain regions that are affected by certain diseases or certain ailments in the trees. So it helps build a healthy forest, and it helps us advise landowners and kind of battle these issues that we're having as a state right now.